The bright white lights of the America's Got Talent stage shimmered like diamonds, reflecting off the nervous sweat on Ethan's trembling hands. He was 27, wearing a plain gray hoodie and faded jeans. Nothing about him looked like a star. But in his heart, he carried years of pain, loss, and the memory of his late mother, who had told him every night before bed, "You have a gift, Ethan. One day, the world will hear it." That night was supposed to be the moment he made her proud. As the stage manager called his name, Ethan took a deep breath and stepped forward. The roaring crowd fell into silence. Simon Cowell looked up from his notes, slightly uninterested. "Hello, what's your name?" Simon asked in his usual clipped tone. I'm Ethan Miller. I'm from Ohio. "And what do you do, Ethan?" I'm a warehouse worker. But tonight, I'm here to sing." Simon nodded slowly. "All right. And why this song?" Ethan looked down for a second. His voice cracked. "It was my mom's favorite song. She passed away 2 years ago, and this is for her." A soft murmur spread across the audience. Even Sofia Vergara's smile softened. "Okay, Ethan," Simon said, leaning back in his chair. "Let's hear it." The music began, "You Raise Me Up." But barely 30 seconds in, Ethan's nerves got the best of him. His voice cracked mid-verse, trembling off-key. Simon grimaced. The audience shifted uncomfortably. Some whispered. Ethan could feel his throat tighten, his breath shallow. He had imagined this moment 1,000 times, but now everything felt like it was collapsing. Simon raised his hand. "Stop. Stop. Stop. Stop." The music halted. Silence filled the massive hall. Simon exhaled loudly. "Ethan, I'm going to be honest with you. This isn't good. You seem like a nice guy, but this just isn't strong enough. Maybe singing isn't your thing." Ethan blinked rapidly, holding back tears. He tried to speak. I can do better. Please, can I?" Simon cut him off. "No, I think we've heard enough. Thank you." The audience gasped. Sophia shook her head softly. But Simon shrugged. "He's not ready." The rejection hit Ethan like a knife. He stood frozen, his dreams shattering in front of thousands of people, and millions watching. He whispered, "I promised her I'd make it," but the microphone barely caught the words. As he turned to leave, he saw the audience's faces, some sympathetic, some indifferent. Tears welled up as he walked off stage, his mother's voice echoing in his head. "Never give up, Ethan. Never." Backstage, the producers tried to comfort him. But he couldn't hear a thing. His world had gone quiet. He went home that night and sat by his mother's old piano, the same one they used to sing at every Sunday. Dust covered the keys, but the memories were still alive. He pressed one key, then another. Slowly, his tears fell onto the piano. Then he whispered to the empty room. "Simon told me to go home. But Mom, I'm not done." And in that single moment of heartbreak, a new fire began to burn inside him. 3 months later, the AGT live show auditions were underway. Simon, Sophia, Heidi, and Howie sat in their usual spots, reviewing contestants who had passed the first rounds. Suddenly, the crowd erupted in whispers. A familiar face was walking onto the stage. Simon raised an eyebrow. "Wait a second, is that?" Yes. It was Ethan Miller. No hoodie this time, no nervous fidgeting, just quiet confidence. The audience clapped in recognition, some even cheered. Simon leaned forward, surprised. "Ethan, we've seen you before." Ethan smiled slightly. "Yes, sir. Last time, you told me to go home." The crowd gasped. Simon chuckled awkwardly. "I remember. You had a rough audition." "Yes," Ethan nodded. "I did. But I went home and practiced every single night. I wasn't ready before. I am now." The quiet determination in his voice made even Simon pause. "All right," Simon said finally, "you've got guts, Ethan. What are you singing tonight?" Ethan took a deep breath. "A song I wrote myself, for my mom. It's called, Still Here." The audience leaned forward. Soft piano music began to play. Ethan closed his eyes and started to sing. "Greater than, when the lights go down and I'm all alone. I hear your voice, calling me home. Every dream I chase, I see your face. You're still here, in every place." His voice, pure, soulful, trembling with truth, filled the hall. Every lyric carried years of pain and love. Every note was a promise kept. The crowd grew utterly silent, not a sound, not a whisper. Sophia's eyes shimmered with tears. Heidi covered her mouth. Even Simon, who rarely showed emotion, sat completely still. As the song built toward its final chorus, Ethan's voice grew stronger, breaking through every ounce of doubt that had ever held him back. Greater than, you told me never give up, even when I fall. Now I'm standing here, giving it my all. I'm still your boy, I hope you can see. You're the reason the world can hear me. When the last note ended, the crowd exploded. A standing ovation. People were crying, shouting, clapping, the noise thundered through the arena. Sophia stood up, wiping tears. Ethan, that was beautiful. How he smiled wide. That's what this show is all about. Growth, heart, passion. But everyone was waiting for one person, Simon. He leaned forward, his voice softer than usual. Ethan, I remember your first audition like it was yesterday. You were nervous, unprepared, and I told you to go home. And you did, but instead of quitting, you worked. You fought. You proved me wrong. Ethan's eyes welled up. Simon smiled faintly. That takes courage. And I think your mom is very proud of you right now. Then, without warning, Simon stood and slammed his hand on the golden buzzer. Golden confetti burst into the air like magic rain. Ethan fell to his knees, crying uncontrollably. The crowd roared as Simon walked up to the stage, hugged him, and whispered. You didn't go home, Ethan. You came back stronger. Ethan looked up, tears glistening under the golden light. I did it for her, he said softly. And for everyone who's ever been told they're not good enough. As the golden confetti continued to fall, the entire room stood united, strangers, judges, fans, all celebrating one truth. Sometimes the biggest victories are born from the deepest heartbreaks. And that night, Ethan Miller, the boy who was told to go home, became a symbol of resilience, courage, and love that transcends even death itself. Ethan's performance went viral across the world. Millions watched his journey, from rejection to redemption. Messages flooded his page. You gave me hope. I'm trying again because of you. And every time he stepped on a new stage, he whispered a quiet thank you. To the woman who believed in him before anyone else ever did. Because even though she was gone, she was still there, in every note, every tear, every song.